I think we're emotionally but different. That's what I think. I think that women are more outwardly emotional, as if we're gonna generalize. Like we all know they say, oh, women think with their hearts, men think with their heads, da 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 da.
I think that's like penis.
Yeah, I'm just...
Well, that wouldn't be thinking, would it?
There's always one on it. Do you know how creepy that was? I think girls are more openly emotional, but I feel like men are very emotional beings as well. I just think that you guys, maybe because of society has put it there, that you guys always got to have this macho exterior that is internalized, and it's like normal for it to be kept closed unless you're comfortable enough to be out there with somebody. So I just think it's covered up more with men.
Who's more emotional, would you say?
I actually think men are, because I think sometimes women play on the emotional side of things. I think sometimes women are just emotionally unstable.
Sadistic.
Wow. I mean,
So
some
you
maybe.
think men are more emotional than women?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Would you agree? And
I've started to realise more and more that I don't really like the whole women are more emotional than men thing, because that's what men say and stuff. I like to say women are more emotionally intelligent than men because women are allowed to be in society. I think men and women are both emotional. Like, I see emotions as intelligence. Like, emotions let you know how you're feeling and what's going on. And if you've got the correct context for it, then you can kind of navigate through it and get a healthy understanding, so you can kind of like manipulate it in your favor. But I think women are allowed to be emotional and expressive with it. I think men don't know how to be, so a man's emotions will come out in a completely different way. I think that the majority of men, because of the programming, aren't allowed to be emotionally intelligent because it's looked down upon. Like, if you're emotional, it's like there's that negative context to a man feeling. And I think the argument / debate of it is a real negative one, because there's that just stigma.
so would you say that? Because I kind of agree with what you're saying, in the fact that women would be more emotional because they're more in tune with their emotions than men are.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. So, like as I said, women are allowed to be. There's nothing wrong with women being that and living in that. Men, I think that men and women's relationship would be a lot better if men were allowed to be, and there was, and that, like, as you said, stigma was just taken away. So yeah.
So would you say, with that said, you see how if we talk about emotional instability, that if a woman's not in tune or doesn't know how to, I wouldn't say control her feelings or emotions, because to me, like, you've got feelings are more what you control than your actual emotions. Yeah. Right, because feelings can be manipulated in a certain way. I don't truly believe emotions can. You can try and disguise it, but emotions are the things that's within you, innit? So
emotions can't be manipulated?
Yeah, I personally feel like feelings can be manipulated, not so much emotion. And
what's the difference?
For me, you can, like, emotion is the innate thing of, like, I could be upset about something, but I can show face, I can smile, I can laugh, I can joke, I can do whatever. It's almost like, for me, it's almost like the internal, external. So the feeling would be more the external way I deliver something. The other is the internal, and I can't really change that. So I can do whatever I want on the outside to pretend it doesn't exist or I'm fine, but it's there and it's grounded as this is what it is, which is the part that you have to deal with. And I think when you can't deal with it, or in a way that you find it easier, that's when the instability starts coming in because you're no longer in control.
Okay, isn't an emotion a feeling? Aren't they
That's what I feel.
pretty much the same thing?
That's what I feel.
I won't disagree with you, but I suppose that's my perception or how I break it down. So as I say, a feeling can be physical or mental. Yeah?
What's the
And
emotion then?
in emotion,
It's
for
the
me,
or
emotion
the
isn't
form.
really. Yeah, for me, it's more the mental side
Okay,
of it.
so-
So I wouldn't, if I say, all right, say for example, you got physical feeling of, you could do that. Yeah, you might say, oh, I really like the feeling of this, but that feeling, that physical feeling, may still be related to a mental
Okay.
thing. So
Okay,
you
so-
might say, oh, I like when someone does that to me because it reminds me of when I was
Yeah.
small and it was a comfort.
So the
So,
feeling.
so what is that though?
So
That's a feeling.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah?
So you're
but it
saying that.
connects to your
The
the
emotion.
emotional side.
So the emotion is the like the mental part of it, and the feeling is what it physically manifests into.
Exactly. So it's like one will lead into the other. So you
like
won't.
when you have anxiety, that comes from an emotion, but then anxiety. You can have
Yeah.
like
So the
complications.
anxiety is
The
the feeling, right? But then it kicks. The emotion is the oh my god, the actual panic. Does that make sense? So it's like the kicking in. One is like it's like the beginning. It's like the intro.
No,
to
I'm
something.
feeling you. I'm trying to see it.
Yeah.
So obviously in
Feelings.
everything's different, but for me, like when I've spoken to people, you know, like when people start doing the whole panic attacks, as you said,
Yeah.
for example, or anxiety naturally, it's a build-up. Generally, it's something that's manifested, and when it hasn't been dealt with, or people don't know how to control that within themselves first, it gets bigger, it grows. And then once it's outside of yourself, it's even harder to control. Now you've lost it. Now you've lost all control. That's when you start becoming unstable, and then you rely on other things or other people to help to try and control it and bring it back down.
So are you saying that? So feelings physical, emotions internal, which is why you're saying that men are more emotional because they internalize it more.
Because, like I was saying, they're not. You guys as a whole aren't really allowed to. You've only got a little leeway. Like if a man cries, it's all right if it's because he's lost somebody or because something major's happened. But if you come home and you just had a really bad day at work and you just feel overwhelmed and a man's crying, your average person's gonna be like, man up, what's wrong with you? But if a woman comes home and cries, oh my god, I've had a crap day, it's all right.
Do women find it attractive when a man is emotional?
I can't speak for other women, like I always say. For myself, I don't know if I'd say I find it more attractive. But do you know what? No.
Just say it. Man.
Yeah, but
No,
you're
no,
not
no.
having a relationship.
No, do you-
No.
Say again.
She's the man in the relationship.
It's true.
Wow, these are on it.
I know he's got no emotion.
Do you
He's
know
got
what?
no emotion.
Do you know what I will say? What I'll say is a man that's able to be himself and openly be emotional around me, that I can find attractive. The fact that he can be that way. However, it just depends on the kind of like way he deals with his emotions.
His man was crying, yeah, and the tears will come around and go,
No, it depends on why he's crying. I'll be honest. Catch me at the right. If it's a general emotional thing, yeah, and I see a man cry, that will make me cry. And I don't know what the hell I'm
but
crying
like,
for.
you know, that's what's important too. The woman's response to the man, you know, being able to like just somewhat break down.